how did Celeste and I meet? I was asked to sing at a fundraising gala in New Jersey for Opera Theater International, which was run by Jerome Hines, who was my personal mentor in opera at the time. And Celeste shared a limousine to the event with Robert Merrill, but Jerry, that's Jerome Hines, asked if I would be willing to drive Celeste home after the event because he knew that Robert was going to be leaving early and taking the limousine. So I said yes, and when she came to the event that night, we were introduced, and that's how we met. But when we started to drive down the highway and I got to the intersection and I had to make a choice to go towards New York, Celeste said, no, I'm not going home to New York. I'm going to our farm. I said, where's your farm? Turned out to be 2 hours in the other direction in Hackettstown. So I finally got into her home at around 1:30 or 2 in the morning. And the next day, Jerry called me up and says, Frank, what did you do? And I said, I dropped her off and I left. He said, well, she called me today and she wants your phone number. He said, should I give her your phone number? And I said, sure, go ahead. And so she called me up the next day and invited me to a movie and dinner. And we had a wonderful time, and the rest is history, quite frankly.
I have so many favorite memories of Celeste. It's really hard to choose one. Celeste had suffered a paralyzed vocal cord, and she wasn't singing for a couple of years after the TV show. And I come along and I'm singing, and she wants to start singing again. So we put together a cabaret show, and we were downstairs and waiting in the green room before our performance. Our name were called to go to the stage. And the person right before us, who was a dear friend today, and they were making their cabaret debut, just tore the house down. You just heard this thunderous applause. And Celeste and I were standing there downstairs, and she looked at me and she said, oh, Frank, they're not gonna want me. I thought that very moment, she has doubts, and she's got insecurities just like all of us. And I had never really seen them up to that point. And I looked at her and I said, honey, they're gonna love you. You don't even have to do anything. They're gonna love you. Our name was called. We walked upstairs and they said, Celeste Holm. She walks out, the audience jumps to their feet. They start applauding for 5 minutes straight. And she was like, okay, and then just walks off because she thought, can't beat that. And then we turned around and went back on and did our 15-minute set. But all the worries and everything just went out the window. But it was just that moment of frailty that you realize she's human, and yet she's still a national treasure in my heart. And that's one of my favorite moments. What is Celeste's greatest legacy? That's a tough question to answer, because she's a great person, and there's never just one legacy. She tried to make a difference in everything she did. And Celeste was deeply involved in the community that helped influence culture. And she knew the responsibility that came with that. So when she went to Hollywood, she said, I only want to do films that make a difference. She locked the director, Anna Pavlovka, in an elevator, pulled the stop button, and asked him if she could be in his film, The Snake Pit, because it was about mental illness. I mean, she was nominated for an Oscar 3 years, won the Oscar, and then bought her contract out after her 4th year because she just didn't feel she was getting to do the movies that she really wanted to make. She continued as a working actress. And what she did from then on was always behind the scenes. She got involved in supporting causes like UNICEF. She used her fame and signed her name to every autograph for 25 cents to raise thousands and thousands of dollars at 25 cents a shot for UNICEF, for kids all over the world. She got involved in the Actors Fund and became a member of their board and was responsible for helping set up the divisions of the Actors Fund's nursing home in Englewood, New Jersey is for families and the family unit. And Celeste spearheaded that project. And she went and did so many things for the State Department. She was constantly going around speaking at universities and young kids and trying to influence them to be better citizens, to be better members of the community. And that is the legacy I think Celeste would like to think lives on, besides just the films. She always said the films speak for themselves. But it's the behind the scenes where she worked so hard and labored so hard and tried to really be an ambassador. And I was so grateful to be a part of it, even if it was just a small period of time.